What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining me again today on the BI Edge. Today, we're diving into dynamic and ever-evolving world of petroleum leases in South Australia. We'll explore why this region is so crucial for the petroleum industry, and we will highlight some major players within this market, companies such as Elpis Resources, Petrex, and CCS, Ar- Arcaringa are some of the players that we'll be sort of identifying within this market, as well as Hugh Denham. So, what I'm going to do to sort of start off with today is there's a few things to get through. We have our generated presentation there. Um, Basically, the data that I'm using today is all being extracted from SA Rig. It's being cleaned up in um, sort of I've extracted it into a shape file, put it into QGIS, and then export it out of QGIS into Excel, or copy and paste it out of QGIS into Excel, and then modeled it by getting my raw data set together for South Australia and power querying it through to a new file and um, cleaning it up through the power query phase before doing an analysis with some pivot tables and building up a dashboard in Excel. So here on SA Rig, we have a map of South Australia. So I can have a look at all the different layers here for all the different titles. So today we're going to be addressing the active petroleum leases into South Australia. So I can click this particular lease here or block, PEL6 or PEL685, Petrex Australia, granted date, expiry date, and then the total kilometres per square metre of the lease there. All this information here, I have put this into my analysis today. I can clear this and I can go over here and I can go, okay, who's got this lease over here? And I can go down again, 121, CCS, Arcaringa, and so forth. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm just getting all the data from this map here and I'm building a model in Excel so it's understandable and you can sort of compare the size of these leases of the key players within this data set or shape file. So you can see here I've layered this with licenses exploration, petroleum, and licenses production, petroleum. So who's producing, who's exploring within the region. I can have a look around Moomba, where, there's a bit of infrastructure there for these different petroleum-based companies. So that's pretty cool too. You can sort of see the smaller leases around here. Some of these aren't as active, but you can sort of that they're producing. So that's just another layering it with another data set and then exporting it into Excel to um, have a look at some different questions. We're just doing a basic sort of overview today, so not touching on that as much. So this is what the cleaned Excel file looks like after it's all been cleaned up in Power Query. We have the operator here, or the mining company, petroleum mining company, the title of the lease, what year that lease was granted, what year is that lease expiring. Some of them get renewed. This Lee Creek one probably got renewed down here, therefore it's still active. Or so yeah, that's sort of how that works. The length of lease here. So this is the period between the grant year and expiry year, and we can have a look at how long they've been on that particular block for to generate some insights. And then there's some pivot table here in the data set that sort of talk us through who's on what block. So Petrex, we can see what blocks they're on. The total square meterage of the lease on that particular block. So it sort of tells you, okay, who are the players in the market with the biggest lease blocks in South Australia in this active lease data set currently. Okay, coming over here to the dashboard next. So over here on our dashboard, we have operator as the percentage of total lease area. So we know here that Petrex make up 22.39%. of the total lease area, which is the figure up here, the 132,945 kilometres squared of leases of petroleum in South Australia. Then we can see that Elpis Resources makes up 14.62, then 13.86 here for CCS Akaringa, followed by Hugh Denham. Okay, so you can really see that, we're still looking at 20, just over 20%, sort of 35%. And then as a look at that, that's like 57%. So these key four players here make up nearly 60% of the total lease area within the South Australia, the petroleum leases market. So if I was a player in the petroleum-based industry, or I was looking at selling a product to in the petroleum industry in South Australia, they would be the operators that I would be sort of looking at. In addition to if you're looking at starting a petroleum exploration-based company, you would look at the players and go, okay, what have they sort of done over the years, and sort of forecast what they're looking to do in the future. So these CCS guys, I would presume that that's carbon capture storage. I don't know, Hughes Denham is a bit of carbon capture storage as well. So, really sort of hitting those environmental based targets there. So yeah, over here we've got total lease by operator. That's just, the total lease area that each operator has. And you can sort of go through that and have a bit of a look there at who those key players are. Now down here with the operators, this slicer is linked with the whole dashboard here. So if I want to have a look at Elpis Resources, I can see that they're on PEL 81 and PEL 253. And this gives me, the area per square kilometres that they have on each lease there. And I've also got the expiry year of those leases. Okay, so I can break that down, have a bit of a look from there. And the good thing is these get updated here. So we can see that there's 29 active operators. Average lease area for those 29 operators is 4,584 square kilometres. The average length of the lease, uh, the time that the operator holds the lease for is 12 years. So basically that tells you that, mining exploration in the petroleum industry and, extracting the commodity is something that, sort of takes decades to scale and develop, quite an expensive based process. You would need a lot of capital, a lot of backing to get into this field. And then you've obviously got the total lease area here. As I said before, that's the total area of leases throughout the South Australian market. And down here, as I said, this is the lease expiry for all the different companies. Okay, so if I want to look at, let's say, I want to look at CCS, I could go, okay, these are the leases that they're on, and they're expiring here in 2028. Okay, and that just gives me, and I can sort of see that they've got three. This is the average across the three. What's the average length of the lease and of those three leases, and then total lease area in square kilometres there is 18,422. Okay, so that gives us a few little insights there on what's sort of happening within this industry or this market in terms of the total lease area. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to come across here and we're going to go into a bit of detail as to what's going on in this sector and the benefits of knowing this information. So overview of presentation. So yeah, basically the companies that I was just talking about, we're going to go into it in a little bit more detail here and give you a little brief background, I guess, on who they are. So the geographical distribution of petroleum leases, significantly influences exploration activities and strategies employed in the region. So some areas are easy to get to than others. The logistics and infrastructure also really help determine the viability of mining within particular regions, as mentioned in previous videos. If there's existing infrastructure in place that you can use, previous lease owners have, developed near your mining lease, then this is going to be a lot more profitable than having to invest in, say like rail lines and um, production-based facilities yourself. Okay, so I'm going to go into just a bit of a overview, I guess, of the South Australian petroleum sector next. So South Australia has long been a major hub for petroleum exploration and production. With its rich geological formations and strategic location, the region offers significant opportunities for both local and international companies. States government plays an active role in promoting and managing these resources, ensuring a balance between economic growth and environmental sustainability. Um, and this really creates a lot of jobs within the local based communities and country towns. Revenue generation for both the local, state government, and in addition to the national economy, through the revenue generation from petroleum production and sales, particularly to the Eastern Asian-based market in the form of long-term contracts. And it is also really important and crucial in the long-term sustainability of Australia's energy needs on a commercial-based level. Um, so that's sort of the significance there. Um, so South Australia, pretty rich in reserves. The region boasts substantial reserves for oil and natural gas, making it an attractive destination for energy-based companies. Advanced infrastructure, because big companies have been mining in the location since the 50s. South Australia has a well-developed infrastructure, including pipelines, refineries, and ports, facilitating efficient production and distribution. So this is good from both an upstream and a downstream perspective within a business. Supportive policies. State government offers favourable policies and incentives to encourage investment and innovation in the petroleum sector. So quite good support there from the state government as well. So having a bit of a look now at Elpis Resources. So um, basically, these guys here, um, you know, the company has made significant strides in the South Australian petroleum landscape, using sort of innovative exploration techniques. They're known for their cutting edge exploration techniques. They utilize advanced technologies to identify and tap into previously underexplored reserves, maximizing their production potential. They have strong financial backing, so that's something that I was sort of touching on a little bit before. Um, Really crucial within a mining-based business, especially within the exploration or the production-based industry, to have strong financial backing, because that ultimately determines the sustainability, because there is upturns and downturns in the market depending on geopolitical-based conditions, which can influence, and economic conditions that can influence commodity-based prices, especially the oil price. Also, the demand for and sort of the supply of oil in the world and petroleum in the world. What are the other countries producing? What's the demand like for our trading partners? Is it decreasing due to sort of financial based issues or tariffs? So they're all things to sort of consider when getting into a business like this. So these guys heavily invest in research and development. Financial strength also enables them to undertake large-scale projects and collaborations with other key industry players. They've got a commitment to sustainability, and they are committed to minimising the environmental impact. They adhere to strict environmental regulations and invest in sustainable practices, ensuring that their operators are both economically and ecologically viable. Okay, so that was sort of what I just sort of touched on there. Next one we're going to look at is Petrex. So these guys here, strategic developments and achievements. So we'll have a bit of a look into them. So they've got extensive experience in the market. They've got decades in the petroleum industry. Their deep understanding of the region's geology and market dynamics gives them a competitive edge. They possess a diversified portfolio. The company has a diversified portfolio that includes both onshore and offshore assets. This diversification helps them mitigate risks and capitalize on various opportunities within the petroleum sector. They also possess a high level of focus on innovation, continuously investing in innovative technologies and processes. Their commitment to innovation ensures that they remain at the forefront of the industry, delivering high quality products and services. Okay, so recent projects, operational milestones, that's all sort of things to sort of look into when you're looking into these guys. Okay, so next we're going into Hugh Denham. So these guys, they've got expertise in the petroleum field. They specialize in the petroleum-based sector. They adopt a strategic market approach, and they've got efficient operational-based strategies. Um, so production data insights wise, they're doing pretty well. As I sort of brought up in my data set before, they're ranked third or fourth highest within the location or in the region of South Australia in terms of the overall lease size. So they're definitely big players there within the petroleum mining industry, especially in the onshore based market. And they focus once again on sustainability initiatives and environmental impact. That's something that is huge now for petroleum-based companies. They have a lot of environmental impact sort of reduction protocols that they have to adhere to ensure the safety and the restoration of the environment on which they work on. So last operator we're going to look at is CCS Arca. So last but not least, company is a key player in the South Australia petroleum sector for several reasons. So the first one is the carbon capture and storage initiatives. It's a pioneer in carbon capture storage technologies. Their initiatives help reduce greenhouse gas emissions, making their operations more sustainable and environmentally friendly. They possess strategic partnerships. Company has formed strategic partnerships with leading research institutions and industry bodies. These collaborations enable them to stay ahead of the competition and drive innovation within the sector. They also possess strong community engagement. So they work closely with local communities to ensure that their operations benefit the region economically, socially, and environmentally, which is all sort of good points there if you want to maintain long-term sort of market share within the business and long-term sort of revenue growth within the business. So some of the future prospects and challenges for these companies, emerging trends in the petroleum industry. So shifts in consumer demand, as I sort of mentioned before, with the global-based trading partners. If there's not as much demand for petroleum in the future due to renewable energy sources becoming more and more developed as time goes on with CO2 emission reduction targets. We will start likely see a bit of a decline in oil and gas in the decades to come. However, we still have enough sort of petroleum to supply the global population for another, say, 50 years. But with these businesses, it's important to invest in technological advancements, move with the times, move with AI, and also strategic planning and importance on diversification within commodities. So, maybe buying some smaller operators within the renewable energy market that mine nickel, copper, lithium as time goes on, so they have a level to be able to sort of hedge between their different types of energy the global demand. So that's something there that these businesses could particular, particularly focus on. Challenges in exploration and production. So obviously regulatory hurdles is a big one, environmental concerns, and then the market volatility. We sort of covered all those topics before. Okay. So potential for growth and investment opportunities. So, developing infrastructure will be a big one. Typically, see the bigger companies invest in infrastructure development to be able to extract uh, commodities in areas that they weren't able to do before. So, sort of like, the Officer Basin in WA is an example of that. There needs to be a big infrastructure development investment within that region to be able to extract petroleum from that region. And then obviously we've got the renewable integration there that will chain, the way energy is sort of distributed throughout the globe. Energy security in the future will most likely be a combination of renewables and petroleum, in addition to coal. Coal will get phased out, and it'll be renewables and gas, and we're yet to sort of see where that transition happens from there. Okay, so just in conclusion, thanks very much for watching today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. For more insights into the energy industry, let us know in the comments if there are any topics you'd like me to personally cover. Until next time, stay informed and stay energized. Take care. Cheers.